Hi, I am checking in with you guys, first of all, to say thank you for subscribing and watching the videos that I have been posting. I've tried to put a lot of content into these classes so that you are getting the full spectrum of yoga and not just the physical postures. I started this when the pandemic hit in 2020. I took a break from it. But this year in 2021, I've been putting up a lot more videos. And generally speaking, I take the recordings from my online studio and I program them, and they're usually coming up online about 3 months later. So if you want the ones with current events and current astrology, feel free to let me know, and you can gain the recordings daily or week by week, or you can wait until they come out on YouTube. So I noticed I put something up ahead of time, and it's based on the Kleshas. And I've been noticing they haven't been getting as many views. And I want to encourage you to watch for the ones based on the Kleshas. And I'm going to tell you what those 5 different subject matters are, so that when you go back through the catalog of videos, you can watch these, or at least listen to the tidbits of information that I say in the beginning or interweave through the practice. And this is why, 2021 has been a tough year. In 2022, there's going to be more changes and more collapse coming. And so I've noticed something that's kind of trending right now. And it's actually been trending through this whole pandemic, but I've been noticing it more lately. So in the month of October, a lot of people were feeling dark. A lot of people were feeling depressed, a lot of feelings of insecurities coming up. And in the month of November, it was coming and going in waves. I noticed it with myself. I noticed it with some of my family members and students. And now here it is December, and I've noticed just this week alone, several people reaching out with panic attacks, having anxiety attacks. And anxiety is mostly steeped in fear and worry. So even if you're one of these people that's going about, your normal life, and you don't have as many restrictions that you're putting on yourself, you're still feeling this collective matrix of what's been kind of lingering in the air. And for those people who were practicing yoga on a regular basis and then backslid in their practice, I've noticed they've lost their center. And I've been talking about coming back to our center is like being in the eye of the storm. It's having that calm, peaceful place to turn to when there's chaos all around us. And that chaos may be swimming inside, and it may be swirling around you on the outside. So the Kleshas are mentioned in the Yoga Sutras as being basically like poison or mental afflictions that are the root cause of our suffering. And so you're going to find on this channel blissful flow, gentle restorative, and yin practices that are going to be based on these 5 Kleshas. So I sped up putting these online because I can tell what people are going through. And astrologically, the month of December is said to be a chaotic month. There's still lots of stuff hitting humanity, lots of stuff hitting the planet. We're having more solar flares. The rotation of the earth has sped up. The Schumann's resonance has been on the rise. And we are receiving lots of downloads, and then we're getting inundated with information like never before. And with this information, we're trying to decipher what is true, what is false. And it's just a lot. So the Kleshas will help you to discover what is the root cause of this mental affliction? What is the root cause of this suffering or this anxiety that I'm experiencing? And then you can start to do something about it. So the first one is based on illusion or ignorance. Think about ignorance is something we just don't know. You know, that could be anything, right? We have scientists telling us one thing, but we're not scientists. We're just having to take their word for it. We have journalists feeding us stories. Well, we don't really know. We weren't really there at that place and time. So we're just listening and maybe taking it in or not. You know, we could be resisting it. Think about the idea of illusion, the illusion of not really knowing the true state of ourself or the true state of reality. You know, we're in this human form, having this human experience, and we're limited with, well, we have five senses, or most of us have five senses that are great because it's the information from our environment that we're receiving in. But the senses can also be limiting, right? Energy is real, but we can't see it, but we can feel it. You know, our intuition is real, but you can't dissect the body and find intuition. So think about how senses can be limiting. So that's the first one. The second one, I get more detailed in the classes, by the way. I'm just trying to do a quick run on so that you can hear what I'm saying and maybe get interested and look at these videos to help yourself or to help others. The second one is the ego. So the ego, right, can be inflated or deflated. So a lot of us were experiencing, you know, a lot of insecurities rising or the lack of confidence with something. We've been, I know I'm feeling this way and you may be feeling this way. You may have felt like you've been in a holding pattern, like you know something is coming or you want something to materialize, but it's just, you're taking 2 steps forward and then you're sliding way back. And that's kind of the energy of this month of December as well. So the ego is the second one. The third one is attachments. What are we attached to? Are we attached to possessions? Are we attached to people? Are we attached to our expectations or wanting a particular outcome? You know, again, I go into much more detail in the classes. The fourth one is aversions, what we divert away from, what we try to avoid. And those are sometimes things that we're projecting onto someone or a situation due to our past. You know, a lot of people have been having these panic attacks due to PTSD or something that might have traumatized them in the past. And we've been through a collective trauma. So it's important to ask the question, am I safe now? You know, am I okay right now? Should I really be expecting this same outcome just because it happened back then? Right? It's a different time, it's a different place. You're in a different space. So aversions is the fourth. And the fifth one is, it's a big one. We often say it's the fear of death, right? Think about what that has brought on in this pandemic. But it's not just the fear of death. If we can expand the mind a little bit, it is the fear of change. But change is inevitable. Change is constant. And we need to be able to flow and fluctuate with changes. And the other thing that goes along with that is the fear of the unknown. Not knowing what's going to happen next, not knowing, you know, what the future is going to look like, not knowing if we take that bold step and quit the job that we hate, not knowing what's going to come after a divorce. You know, there's, again, more detail in the classes. So please look for those classes, especially if you have been, you know, suffering on your own or not speaking about it or seeking therapy about it or doing your practice to help you to resolve some of these matters. This is something that none of us are immune from. And hopefully you will take a look and take a listen and roll out your mat and practice with me and do some of the inner work. So the winter months are soon to arrive. It's a great time to pull back, to reflect, to analyze, to regroup, to reinstate, to reinvent, to reimagine, and to do this inner investigative work. What is the root cause of your fear? What is the root cause of your insecurities? What is the root cause of making you feel down? And then allowing this contemplative work and allowing the practice to help jumpstart you and to help you to realize you can overcome this. You are more powerful than you think you are. You are a light body. You are energy. And it is possible to pull yourself out of the trenches. It is possible to heal your deepest wounds. So I hope that you join me in these classes.